what if it's not a 401, but the request actually fails? So we get a response, okay, is false. Well, let's test that scenario. So I'm going to copy and paste this same thing. And instead of a status of 401, we're going to do a 400. So it was an invalid request. There was something wrong with the request. And this one is going to be correctly rejects the promise if there is an error. Great, and we want to have some sort of result here, and rather than mock result, let's make this more clear. We'll call this a test error, and we'll have the test error have a message that is test error. Great, so we're going to do this same thing, catching that rejected promise to get that error. We'll verify the error message is what it should be, and in our case, we actually know what the error message should be because it's the test error message. So we can actually just assert that the error to equal the test error, and that gets our test passing. Now, if we don't handle that properly, then hold on a second, our test is still passing. What's going on? This is not, it should be failing. Oh, wait a second. So we didn't verify that this request actually rejected. And so this is sending some JSON back. It's sending the status of 400, but the promise itself did not reject. So what we're going to do instead is we will await and expect, and we'll pass the promise that comes back from the client. We'll say rejects to equal the test error. And we'll save that. And here it says it received a promise that resolved instead of rejected, and it resolved to this value. So now we can go in here, fix our code, and now our test is passing. So as much as I like this little handy way of turning a rejected promise into a resolved promise, it does come with its shortcomings. So using this handy utility from expect will help us avoid that, where we can add an assertion here that this promise will reject. Now remember, it's very important that you include the await here, or you return the promise that comes back from expect when you use rejects or resolves, because this assertion doesn't actually run until this promise rejects or resolves.